What's up everybody, it's me, who else would it be, and I'm back at it again with another Vlogmas video. If you're new here, my name is tenae.chantelle, and if you've been here, hey friend, hey, how you doing? Today we are in the kitchen. Well, Granny's in the kitchen because we are cooking a cake and she is going to tell us how to do it. Okay, so I thought long and hard about this. I said, do we really want to tell everybody our secret, our family secret, our family cake recipe? Do we want to share that? But then Granny told me it ain't even a family secret. It's really it's really the cake recipe that everybody and their great grandma got because they got it off a cake box years ago and still use it. So there's no secret. Some like family recipe that we was gonna keep in the family for years, and I really had to learn it because if you left us and I didn't know it, we would never know. But then we got on, not Instagram, we got on YouTube the other day to see how other people make cake, and they literally make it the same way Granny do. So.
Welcome to Granny's kitchen.
Okay now.
And we're gonna make the cream cheese pound cake.
All right, so what did you just put in?
I just put in cream cheese.
How much was that?
That was 1 8-ounce package.
Okay.
I'm gonna put in 2.5 sticks of, I use margarine. Most people use butter or whatever, but I use margarine, and I like the stick margarine because it's already measured.
All right, so this is what Granny is doing.
And Granny is old-fashioned, so the first part of her cake, she doesn't even use the mixer with. Like most people use the mixer. She mixes most of this by hand. In fact, if she wasn't so old, she probably would make the whole cake without using the mixer. But she's a little old now, and she doesn't have the stamina she used to have.
Okay, but then also, they need to know that this was sitting out for how long?
Room temperature.
Oh, just let it sit out until it's room temperature.
Room temperature, but it's been out for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours now.
Okay, so the margarine and the cream cheese and the eggs were out to sit for room temperature.
Right, and usually you're supposed to use a tablespoon of lemon juice. But sometimes I don't buy the lemon because I just, not for 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and I don't use the rest of the lemon. So sometimes I use lemonade. Guess what we're using today? Lemonade!
So that's Granny whipping it up with her hands, no mixer, because she old school.
Right, I'm old school. My mom didn't have a mixer, and we made a cake every Sunday.
Oh, so she got this recipe down pat.
But you just want to make sure if it's soft, you incorporate the cream cheese and the butter so that it's mixed, and it's all mixed. I don't see any different colors in here. It's mixed. I'm gonna add 3 cups of sugar. That's 1. That's 2. Okay, that's my 3 cups of sugar. And we're gonna incorporate that into. Now if you have a mixer and you want to use the mixer, because that's a dry ingredient, you have to start off on a low speed anyway. So since I'm a low speed anyway, I have to use the mixer. Just want to incorporate it in there. If you have one of those fancy mixers, you always got to worry about scraping the bowl. Your own mixer, the bowl as you go. See there how it has all come together. It's room temperature, so it's easy for it to incorporate. You don't have no lumps in it. That's it.
So the flavors are next.
Okay, now I need my flavors. So what I want is a teaspoon. And that says 1 teaspoon. Okay, but what I do, Most people use the opposite of the way I do. I like lemon. So I use 1 teaspoon of vanilla. It's this, 1 teaspoon. And then I use 2 teaspoons of lemon. Most people do it just the opposite. 1, that's 2.
Okay, girl.
And then I use a tablespoon.
Tablespoon.
A tablespoon. This is either your lemon juice or lemonade. So I'm using lemonade, so I'm going to use a tablespoon and a half because it's lemonade.
Okay.
And now we're going to beat that together. I'm going to mix that in. I always scrape the sides of my bowl and the bottom because I want it all incorporated.
It smells good already. Oh, it smells lemony.
That lemony flavor that I love. And see how smooth it is? With Granny's little power. No mixer yet, but she's going to use the mixer. Now I'm going to add my eggs.
Okay.
Generally, this is where I start with my mixer because I don't want to put all the eggs in at one time. It's easier to incorporate them all together. Most people say 1 at a time. I usually do 2.
Okay.
And you notice it's really not hard to mix it up. It's really not hard.
You haven't used the mixer yet?
I haven't used the mixer yet. Okay, and this is my last 2. You know I'm not a baker. You can tell the way I crack my eggs. Just an old granny. That is your recipe. The only thing that's missing now is your flour. A lot of people use all-purpose flour. I like cake flour. In fact, the original recipe came off of cake flour boxes. That's where I got mine from. It's off a cake flour box, so I still use
the recipe. And I thought this was just some recipe that her great grandma passed down or something. It's a cake box recipe. But how long ago did you get the recipe off the box?
I was married when I got this recipe off the box. I can't even remember when, but I was married.
So you definitely got married over 50 years ago.
Well, that was true. My husband died in 12 and we had been married 49 years, so yes. I don't want this to slide down into my pan, so I'm going to lay it on the side. I usually, when I'm going to do my flour, I usually get me a piece of wax paper, only because I have flour everywhere.
Okay, so you need your wax paper.
When I was growing up, we used to have cake, as I say, every Sunday. And my mom didn't like this regular all-purpose flour. So what she would make us do was take the all-purpose flour and sift it 3 times. She said that made it light as cake flour. Oh. So the reason why I just bought cake flour is because I was too lazy to sift 3 times before I use it.
Okay, but if they can't get this, they can just take regular flour and sift it 3 times.
Sift it. That takes all that makes it airy.
Okay.
And that's what cake flour is. Cake flour is a little lighter and airy.
Okay.
Okay, this is my first cup.
Okay.
And this is where I have to start using
the mixer.
The mixer.
Okay.
It's kind of hard for me to incorporate it in and give it the energy that it needs.
Okay.
So I usually do it like this first, only just so I don't have to start on low speed. And it keeps the flour from flying everywhere. Because dry ingredients will fly when you put it in your bowl.
Like what it happened to me when I thought I was cooking a cake.
So now that one's ready.
Okay.
I need to turn on my mixer.
Okay. Granny took over the vlog today and taught us how to make a cake.
Okay, now I have to use the mixer. So we put the mixer. On a medium speed, which is about 3 or 4.
Okay.
And it's just enough so that all the flour is mixed in. Okay. Pour in my second cup. I'm almost ready, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my oven on. And I want it on 325.
Okay.
I'm letting that warm up. I still like to incorporate this before I turn the mixer on. I've incorporated it, so now mix that in. I always scrape down the sides of my bowl so that I don't have flour and everything on the bowl, because you know you got to pour it out of the bowl. You don't want any unincorporated ingredients on the side. This is the last cup. This is number 3. And technically, all I really do is just fold it in. This is what you call folding. I'm not beating, I'm just folding. You're just lifting up and covering up the dry ingredient.
Lift and tuck.
Right, that's exactly what you're doing. You just want it so that your dry ingredients are not flying everywhere. This is what, as an old person, we were taught. I don't know about modern day. I just know what I was taught when I was younger, and I still follow. We're gonna do our last mixing. Okay, that's my last mixing with the mixer. I'm gonna stir it a couple of times without the mixer, without the mixer, because that's what I like to do. That's just to keep that from dripping everywhere. Usually what I do, I know it's going to drip, so clean up is easier when it's dripping on the paper.
So again, use that wax paper and let it drip on the wax paper for easy cleanup. And she's gonna do her last round of hand mixing.
Okay. This is going to be my last round, but just before I do my last round of hand mixing, I take usually I use a bundt cake, but for today we're using the flat pan, a glass bowl.
Because
Tenae wants to use the cake for another reason.
We're gonna make cake sickles and cake pops, so.
And I don't want this to get on her, so I'm going to go over here because I want it completely covered. And this is the baking, so you'll notice that it has the flour and everything already in it. Get that off. All right, now I take my last.
Ooh, look at her go! Okay, Granny. She had to save her energy for this cake, y'all.
You notice how smooth it is? It looks creamy. Okay.
So we get every little piece.
I just want to make sure there's no lumps in it. Beat it up one more time, just in case there's something in that spoon. And now we just incorporate this. And you don't really have to worry because it's going to flow.
Ooh-wee.
Now usually when I bake my cake, I use this pan. This is a bundt cake pan.
Okay.
And this is what I usually do. But for today, we're using this. So now it's ready to go into the oven. I've heard my signal for the oven saying it's ready. It's going to be in the oven for at least 1 hour. probably a little bit more, because when I use the bundt cake, it takes it an hour 15 to an hour 25 minutes.
Okay.
So this I know is going to be in there at least an hour.
Okay. Okay, so it is currently 11:12.
All right, we've taken it out of the oven. It looks good. We're gonna see. I'm gonna stick a toothpick all the way down. It's clean. It's done.
This is the cake. Alright, you guys, so Granny just finished her cake and it looks pretty delicious, as she told you guys before. That's not usually how she like makes it. She puts it in the bundt cake pan. Correct. But because I'm making cakesicles and things like that, that's why she puts it in that. Not gonna show you guys that part because I showed it in vlogs before, but since Granny is taking over the vlog, we're gonna let her in, and yeah.
Well, the cake came out much better than I thought it would, since it's the first time I put it in a pan like this, but it did come out nice. Just because of Tenae, that's why I did it. But whatever she asks, I do, because I'm grateful to have her as my daughter. And speaking of that, being grateful, I just want to say this is the holiday season and people are giving you gifts or they're thinking about you. And just remember, also, it's a pandemic, so they don't have as much as maybe they normally would have. So the gifts that they give you may not be what you expect. But be grateful for it, no matter what it is, because they thought enough of you to do something for you, no matter what it is. They may last year gave you something that was worth millions of dollars, and this year what they give you may only cost pennies, but they thought about enough of you to want to give you something. So just be grateful, because that is godly, and we want to be godly in everything that we do. So I want to say, be grateful, be blessed. I love you, I love her, and thank you.
Thank you. So thank you, Granny, for taking over the vlog and helping me with Vlogmas. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the video. Remember to stay grateful, be blessed, be beautiful, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.